to my channel. We are continuing with our decentralized task manager. The last time we were building the smart contract. On our smart contract, we built a task manager smart contract. Then, before we do anything else, we have to run the test to see if everything is still running fine. Let me try yarn. I'm on the backend folder, then I run yarn test to see if everything is still running fine. Yes, all our tests are still running fine. Then we have to deploy. If you check on our client, if you go to source, then lib, we don't have the contracts folder here. But if we go and deploy, if we yarn deploy, it will deploy our smart contract to the Mumbai network, the testnet for Polygon. Then it will generate the address for our smart contract. Then it will create a folder on our client side. Yes, done. It's deployed. You see now it's deployed for this address. Then if you check here on our client, it created a folder called contracts. In the contracts, there is a JSON file which is created. In the JSON file, it has the address. This address is exactly the same as this one, which is deployed on the Mumbai network. And we have the ABI. The ABI that we are going to use, it contains the metadata for our smart contract, like method, events, and stuff. You see now here it's add task is the name of our method. Then after that, we can close this backend because now we're done with the backend. We can close this backend. Now we go to the client. On our client, we are using Sveltekit. I have already installed Sveltekit and using Tailwindcss. I have already done the boilerplate. If you check here, I have already installed here. I have added some components because as this one is the tutorial for Sveltekit, and because we have to learn ethersjs, then we're going to. I have already installed the components. If I run yarn dev to spin up our Sveltekit application, if we go to the browser, you can check that's now our application. This is like a boilerplate. It's here will display the matic the user have, and here will display the address, and here it's to add task, and there is no functionality yet. If we go to the code, you can check here is our components. It's a detailed component, add form, and the task list. Here you can check it's not even doing anything. Then on our lib, I have created the controllers. On the controllers, we have like a task controller. we have a Metamask controller, we have a helper controller, which is all of them empty. Then we are going to start with a Metamask controller. If you check on our to-do list, if you check on our to-do list on the scripts, then client, I have done this one on the Metamask controller. Our to-do list is to check if Metamask is installed. So let's go and on the client and on the to-do on the Metamask controller. Because firstly we have to check if the Metamask or Web3 provider is installed on the client browser. Then we'll a class, we'll call it Metamask controller. On the Metamask controller, we need the state to check. Firstly, on the config, I will write a config. Our config, it will be like a small configuration. On the config, we have to it's only to check then the Mumbai network, because Mumbai network it runs on the chain ID of 8001. So it will be Mumbai testnet. Then the chain ID is 8001. Then we have to create the store. If you are familiar with Sveltekit, we have to declare our MetaMask as a base store. So we are going to create a store. We'll call it Metamask store or App Store. Let me just call it App Store. It will be private. Custom writable. This is a writable Sveltekit store. Then we create a constructor. You'll see why I make this one. I prefer to my store to be private so that I can control rather than the UI or other classes to control my store. Then on the constructor, I will create a public store which is equals to it will be subscribed. In order for a store to work, you have to subscribe, which is subscribing from which store? From our private store, which is this dot app store dot subscribe. Then we're done with our store. Then on our store, what do we want? We have to export this as default, and we have to invoke this class so that it will run when the application starts. Then our storage, we on our store we have certain properties that we need. We need to check if Metamask is installed, I'll write a property called is Metamask installed is false at the beginning. Then we have to check if the user is on the wrong network, because if you are using Metamask, you can have different networks like Polygon, you can have Harmony, you can BTC, Ethereum. So we have to check which network the user is. Then you will have a property is wrong network. It's false at the start. Then we have to check if the account is logged. Remember, Metamask, you can log your Metamask with password. If you are using Brave browser, they have the built-in wallet. Then you can log that wallet. So you have to detect if the wallet is logged or not. Then we have a property is logged, which is false at the start. Then we have to check if it's connected. Is connected. It's false. To check if everything is fine, then the user will be connected. Then we can have like a message. This message will be displayed on the UI. Let's say loading. So on my state, I prefer, you will see why, I prefer to have a base state. So I will create const base state outside of my class. Then on this base state, I will copy everything from my store, then paste it on the base state. Then I will destructure everything on my base state here on my store. So it is exactly the same as before, just that copying the base state on the writable store. Then we have to create a method, a public method called Init. You can call it setup or initialize. It will initialize everything. Remember, here we are creating the instance of this class here, but on Sveltekit, because it runs both on the server and the client, the window is not available on the server. That's why I create this method, so that this when we instantiate this class on the server, it won't cause error. Then here on the init method, we'll write a const, then destructure the window, the window object. On this window object, we'll have to check if Ethereum is available. This Ethereum, if you installed Metamask, it will inject this Ethereum on the window object. Here it's giving us error because of TypeScript. Then you can go on your types and declare here on your types. If you check, we don't have a window, but you can declare interface, a global interface, window. It's supposed to be capital letter window. Then on the window, you have to add Ethereum of type any. because you don't have like the TypeScript for completion for this Ethereum. Just type it any, so that here when you go to your MetaMask, it won't complain. You see, now it's no longer complaining. Then when we have to check if MetaMask is connected, if this you can use type, you can use, but I prefer to use Boolean. I can say const as MetaMask equals to Boolean. On this Boolean, I have to check if Ethereum is available, and Ethereum dot MetaMask. This one will be on the object of Ethereum. If to show you the object of this Ethereum, let me go to my route. Here on the routes that's showing here, this one, I will go to my console. You see here I'm using Brave browser. On Brave browser it have like the built-in wallet, this wallet, and it's locked now. Let me check the object window Ethereum. Let me call it let e equals to window dot Ethereum. You see this one, that's the object that we want. If we console, if we log e, okay, console log dot log e, you'll see this this is it means it is installed. Then it is a proxy. Then if you understand the proxy, you'll see how the proxy works. Then you can check if MetaMask is installed and stuff. Then let's go back to our code. Then here, that's what we are checking, if it's Ethereum is installed and Ethereum is MetaMask. If it's not MetaMask, if you are using Web3, other Web3, you can not use this one, because here I'm using MetaMask and we are checking for MetaMask. Then after that, we have to start with our application. Then we go, if it's not installed here, if it's true, it means it's installed. If not installed, we have to do what? We have to return as soon as we reach here. What do we return? We return, then we update our state, this dot update, then we set a new state. That's why I said, like, I want to use to destructure my base state, so I will just copy my base state, paste it here, then destructure again the base state. Then I will change only thing that I want. The only thing that I want on the base state is to change the message. You can change on the message. You can write MetaMask not installed. not installed. And even for best practices, I also want to destructure my messages so that you don't have to repeat it over and over again. So I will have a const type. I will have a const message type equals to. Then on the message type, I will have not installed, which is Metamask not installed. Then we will have another message which is like loading. We'll have another message which is loaded. We'll have error. Then we'll call internal server error. Then here on my message, so that you don't have to repeat this, you just message type dot loading. Here, if you check, you don't have to write this. You just say message type dot Metamask not installed. That's our message, so that if Metamask is not installed, it will just return the base state, which everything is false. Then even Metamask here is not installed, it's false. Then it will be false. Then if Metamask is installed, we have to check certain properties. We have to make a try and catch. Here on the try, we have to await Ethereum dot request. Then here on the Ethereum request, the method that we want Ethereum request accounts. Accounts. So here we will ask Ethereum to give because on your Ethereum you can have a list or number of accounts. Then you have to request which account you want to use for this certain DApp DeFi application. So here, if you check for now with this minimum viable product, let's go and hook it on our front end. Here on the front end, we have to import the MetaMask, but I prefer to do it on the layout because this layout will be the start of our application, so that before we even go to index, we have to check if a Metamask is installed. Then Metamask Controller, then it will be imported. You check here the Metamask is imported. Then after that, on the Metamask, I want to destructure the store, only the store. That's my preference. You can use it Metamask dot, then I will destructure the store. You see here we have the store. On the store, if I prefer to do here on the components, just because I will be using it over and over again to create a component called JSON viewer as. On this JSON viewer, it's only to view format JSON or what's written. Then on my JSON viewer, what we have to do is we can do script, then it will be export let data, because you can write empty object. Then here you can do a pre-tag, and then on the pre-tag you do JSON dot stringify, then you stringify the data, then now then to, so that it will format this one nicely. Then if we go back to our layout, we can import that JSON viewer. Then on the data, you just view the data that our store, so that we'll build it from the controller to the UI store to check what's on our store, because this is the store, this store. Is this store, which I didn't write typo on subscribe, that way it was giving me that error, because it's supposed to be a store. Then if it's a store, then if I save this one and go back to our UI, you can check. You see here our store is so I have a typo on the wrong network. I'll go and fix that typo. You see everything now, it's hard, like it is still loading here. That's why I said, like, I prefer to use that init method, so that now I have to call that init method here on the layout. Where do we call the init method? On the on mount. When on mount is called, it means like we have the DOM I've already loaded, so that we can call this Metamask Controller .init, which will initialize everything and check if is installed. If I save this one, go back, you will check, you will see now it will ask, you see, now it's asked me to log into my wallet, because we have requested the accounts. So let me log in. Then if I log into my account, then everything, now you won't see anything, because the account it's logged. Then back to the controller. Let me fix this one, wrong network. Then here we have requested the account, that's why you saw that pop up. Then if we have to update the store, what do we update on the store? Firstly, you can just set the store. The only thing that we want to set on the store is you can do the update. Let me show you with the update. You will say this it depends on you. You can use the state, or then you say update. On the update, you have a previous store, then you create an arrow function, then you have to return the new store which is updated. This one is the previous store, then you return it again to create new store. Then here on the store, on the store, you have to check if it's connected. If it's connected, if Metamask, firstly we have to check if is Metamask installed. If Metamask installed, we have as Metamask, it will be true. Then we have to go to check is it connected, as that is it connected. It is connected. How do you check if it's connected? It's supposed to be Metamask supposed to be installed, but if we reach here, you already know that Metamask is installed, because if it's not installed, it will return here. It won't even reach here. Then you have to check Ethereum network version. Ethereum.network version, the network version that the user is currently on. The network that the user is on. You have to check if that's remember we have this config. You have to check if the network is the chain ID, we call it chain ID here on the Ethereum is network version. You check if the is equals to the Mumbai testnet. If it's true, it means the user is connected. Then you can check it's s dot it is wrong network. Then it will be equals to it will be the negative of this one. Then you can write not, then you put this one. If it's not equals to this one, it means it's a wrong network. Then on the message, you have to update the message. Then the message will be message type dot loaded, because here it will be loaded. Then you know if it reaches here, the account is logged. It's not logged, so that you don't have to update it, but you can update it just in case if you want. S dot is logged equals to false, because it's not logged, it means like the account is not logged. Then if you save and we go back to our, you see now it changed. Metamask is installed, yes. It's wrong network, yes, we are on the wrong network. I will show you here. If you check my account, it will be locked. No, it's not locked. Here I'm on the Harmony network. Then I have to go back to Mumbai Polygon. Then if I go to Mumbai Polygon, then it's still because now we are not updating, we'll come to it. Then if I refresh, you'll see that it's wrong network. It will now everything is false because it's loading. Then when it's done, is Metamask installed? Yes. It's wrong network, false, because it's not it's connected. True, it means it will show. Then after that, we have to go to catch error. On the catch error, here on the error, mostly the error that you will find, it's when the account is logged. It will show you the error. That's where you will have to know that the account is logged. Then to do that, you just copy this one, it will be set. You don't need a lot of things, you just put it here. Then on the message, it will depend. We can put it, we'll create a custom message. which is if the property message has a property message, it will populate the message, or it will go to message type, our message type dot error, then it will show error. Then we remove this one. Then we have to update the account is logged. True. Here I'm not doing error checking if the account is logged or whatsoever. I'm sure if here it requests the account and it doesn't find the accounts, obviously it will throw the exception, which means the account is logged because MetaMask is installed. That's why I'm not going deep into this one, but you can do check what kind of error you're receiving, then it will show you. Then if we go back to our application, you will see that now everything is still working fine. MetaMask is installed. Yes, MetaMask is installed. Then it's wrong network. Then it's loaded. Then you can check here for is connected. Only it will run when it's true. And here on we go to our layout. On our layout, we'll have to check. We'll do multiple if statement as if. Then we'll do multiple statement. You'll see why. Then on our store, I prefer to destruct our store, as we won't be doing any to destructure what our store has. Then it will be from store. Then you check here on our store, you check is connected. Then firstly we will check if it's connected. Then what if it's connected? Obvious, we have to render our slot here. But if it's not, then we'll check another like we have is another condition. Our condition, second condition will be is it a wrong network. Then if it's a wrong network, you can go here. Then we can copy this and paste it here. Then is wrong network? Yes. Is MetaMask installed? Then we put it here. Then we'll do p tag MetaMask not installed, or we can do the message. That's why we have a message here. Now you can put the message here. We won't do much functionality on this one, but you can maybe add a button to say go and download MetaMask. Then another, we have to check if it's locked. If the account is locked, we have to put it here. We want to message here, we'll know it's locked. Please unlock your account. That's it. Then wrong network, we have to copy and put the message here. On default will be like tell the user that the application is loading. Then here on wrong network, let's say wrong network selected. Then you can switch, you can do like switch to the network. Then for now we don't need this JSON viewer. Then we can go back to our application and check. If you check now we are on the landing page because you see now it's logged because I set it to be logged after 1 minute. Then if you check, if I unlock, then the account is unlocked because we are on the right network. Then the last thing that I want to do is to detect if a user change the chain. If I change the network, I have to detect that. Then I will create here it on the MetaMask. It have the events that it is raised when you change the account, you change the network, you change. So that's what we want to do now before I can close. Then we go to our layout. We'll do it on the layout. Here on the on mount, I have to do this set this as await because we know it's in async method. Then we have to await. Then we have to check if you can do it on the controller, but I prefer to do it here so that it will be easier even to destroy it. And then you can do store dot is MetaMask installed. Then here, if MetaMask is installed, you can do window.ethereum on chain changed. Then you will have a chain change or on chain changed method here. This method will create this method here. Const unchanged method. It will be like an arrow function. Then it will on the chain. It will give you the chain ID. This chain ID is not exactly the same as the network version. The network version is the integer, but this chain ID it's on the hex. So you have to convert it to the int because it's the hex. I will show you what I mean when I say it's hex. If I console log the chain ID. then save. Then after saving, then if we go to our application to check here, if I reload, it will check if account see now it's loading, then check. Then now, because we are on the right network and stuff, then it will show. Then if I change the network, you'll see here on the console or that it will raise on the change network. Then I go to Harmony. Then you see now this is the chain ID for the Harmony, which is not giving us the integer, is the hex number. So we have to change this hex number back to to the integer, so that we can compare it with the with our network, with our correct network. Then if I go back here on our code, that's where here we have to pass the chain ID. You can say let, or you can just convert it from scratch. From scratch. Then let's say chain ID equals to pass int. So you have to pass int. You know that method is a JavaScript method. This one. Then you pass the chain ID. Then because it's a hex, it's supposed to be 16 digits, because it's on the hex. If I then console again the chain ID, you'll check the first and this chain ID. You'll see now it's back on the our. Now you see a wrong network selected, because now I have selected a wrong network. If I go back to my wallet, then I select back to Mumbai Polygon, then you see now we have this which is a hex chain ID. Then we convert it back to the integer chain ID that we know. If you want, you can use hex, but if you use hex, you have to hex this one, because the network version, when I mean network version, if you go back to our chain ID here, if you check Ethereum network version, it will be the integer. It won't be the hex version. I hope you understand that one. Then after that, we have to inform our store that it's has changed. Then we have to go to our Metamask controller, then create a new method called network changed, then pass the chain ID. Remember when I said like I don't want my we don't have that method, that's why it's complaining. That's why I said like I don't want my UI to change the store. That's why now we have to go back to the controller and create this chain ID with chain ID. Then here, that's where we will update our store. Then we go, firstly we check if it's connected. Let is connected equals to, then we'll check if this chain ID equals to config dot Mumbai testnet, because we are on the Mumbai. You are delete my table. Then we have to update our store. Then that's why I said, like, I don't want my store to be accessed outside of the Metamask controller. That's why I've created here to make it private. Like on the JavaScript now, you can put this hash sign before any property or variable to make it private. Then we subscribe. Then our previous store. Then now here, because I'm not changing a lot of data, I will do self closing. Then I will do Destructure my store. Then is connected. Here is connected. If it's equals to this one, it will be connected. Then wrong network will be the wrong network node is connected. Is a wrong network. Then here is connected, is this is connected. Then we have check the wrong network also, because this one will be false. Then we'll do destructuring to check if it's wrong network. Then we'll do copy, here is wrong network to avoid the typo. Then let this wrong network equals to, you can copy this one. Then you say not equals to this one. Then you pass this wrong network here. Then you save. Then if we go to our application, we reload the application. It's loading, then it will check if Ethereum is installed. Now check if I change the network, it will detect that one. If I change to BitTorrent, then it's now 999, but it's not updating our store. Why is not updating our store? Let me check. It's subscribe. No, don't subscribe, you update. I do the subscribe, then we have to do the update. Sorry. Then that's why it was not working. Then let's remove the console log. Then we save. Then if we check, it's our wrong network. Then if check now, if we select the correct network, it will detect the application, then it will update the application. If I go to Mumbai, then it's loaded. It's on the correct network. Then if you check loading, now you check, now it's on the right network. So the last thing that we can do is to check if account is logged, because we have connected, we have Metamask installed wrong. Then on the check if the account is logged, let me go here on my account. Then if I lock my wallet, then it will need a password. Then if I reload, it will request account, then it will pop up. You see, now if I don't enter the password, if I just click somewhere, it will pop up, which means that if I reload again the application, because I didn't enter the password, then it will send the message that the account was not locked. Then it will show me that please unlock your account. Then if I lock my account again, log my account again and refresh, then it will go to the application. Then it go to the application. That's on the MetaMask side. I want to show everything because most of people they want to code the smart contract without knowing these MetaMask APIs. Then after that, we are going to our contracts. On our contracts, I will create an ethersjs provider. So let me call it uh, ethers provider.js. That's where we'll be communicating with our smart contract. Then we'll do the API that will talk with our task controller on the next video. That's enough for the day. Thank you, and please subscribe.